Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.
In 2016, Jaguar design chief Ian Callum told Digital Trends electrification gave his team more freedom to design a car. "Watch this space," he said with a broad smile when we asked about what he had in store. This is the model he was talking about, the 2019 I-Pace. All new, it's Jaguar's first ever battery electric vehicle. And, let's get this important point out of the way, it's also Tesla's first ever serious competitor. Jaguar bluntly said to hell with tradition. The I-Pace doesn't use a straight six engine and it doesn't wear the long hood, short decklid proportions that characterize fan favorites like the XJ and the F-Type. The British firm's designers instead pushed the wheels towards the corners to extend the wheelbase in a bid to create a spacious, luminous cabin without stretching the overall footprint. Mission accomplished. By acting fast, Jaguar enviably launched the I-Pace into a class of one. It's smaller and about $10,000 cheaper than the Tesla Model X, so the two aren't direct rivals, though they'll inevitably overlap. It's deceptively easy to price the Jaguar into Tesla territory. Buyers can also compare it to the Porsche Macan and the BMW X4, but neither of those offer an electric option. Jaguar won't retain its monopoly for very long, though. Rivals Audi, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz are all preparing to enter the I-Pace's segment between 2018 and 2020. The I-Pace starts at $69,500. Note that figure doesn't include the mandatory $995 destination charge or incentives from the local and federal government. We drove the base S model, which corresponds to the aforementioned price figure, and the range-topping HSE First Edition, which carries a lofty base price of $85,900. The base variant comes nicely equipped with a long list of standard features including an air suspension, ambient lighting, two-zone climate control, keyless entry, a push-button ignition, 3 screens on the dashboard, navigation, rain-sensing wipers, and 18-inch alloy wheels. It doesn't offer leather upholstery or wood accents, though. Interior and tech. Designers took the interior in a less futuristic direction than the exterior. Wayne Burgess, the director of Jaguar's production car studio, told Digital Trends that's because several points have become a fixed value in the world of automotive design for reasons related to safety and ergonomics. Every car regardless of body style or drivetrain requires a steering wheel. It also needs airbags, nearly a dozen of them depending on the model, and a climate control system. These are some of the many features that dictate the size, shape, and layout of the dashboard. That's not to say the I-Pace is ordinary. The driver faces a tech-led dashboard Jaguar calls the flight deck, equipped with a trio of screens. There's a 12.3-inch unit that replaces the analog instrument cluster behind the steering wheel, a Audi. Look right to find a 10-inch screen that displays the infotainment system, while a 5.5-inch unit takes the place of the numerous dials, buttons, and switches normally associated with the climate control system. The last screen flows into a sloping center console with makeshift grab handles that group a cluster of buttons, including the ones the driver uses to select forward, reverse, neutral, or park. The basic layout will look familiar if you've sat in Land Rover's stylish Range Rover Velar. The two SUVs share the same infotainment system, too. It boasts a good resolution, and we like the relatively large width of the screen, but it's not the most intuitive system to use because finding some key functions requires burrowing like a crayfish through several sub-menus worth of information. You can tell the Jaguar app you plan to leave work at 5 p.m. It will have the 2019 I-Pace waiting for you with a full charge in the cabin cooled to the predetermined temperature. Jaguar notes it's possible to set favorites, which reduces the steepness of the learning curve but doesn't fully steamroll it. We occasionally noticed a slow response time after tapping an icon, an issue Jaguar hopes to fix with over-the-air software updates. Alternatively, if you're not the patient type, the I-Pace comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. The firm added several useful electric car-specific functions to the infotainment system. The I-Pace helps users find the nearest charging stations, for example. Jaguar also developed a smartphone application which lets owners remotely monitor the charging process and precondition the car. You can tell it you optimistically predict to leave work at 5 p.m. and the app will ensure your car waits for you with a full charge, assuming it's plugged in, of course, and a cabin cooled to the predetermined temperature. We liked the climate control dials Jaguar placed on the center console. It's a clever solution that looks good and is remarkably simple to use. Turn the dial left or right to set the temperature, push it or pull it, you can't bop it, to access different functions, like the fan speed or the cooled and heated seats. While the I-Pace offers plenty of space for 5 passengers, even taller ones, trunk space checks in at a mediocre 25.3 cubic feet with both rows of seats left up. Folding down the rear seat yields 51 cubes. These middling figures are due to the rakish roofline, a hallmark of form-over-function design. In comparison, the 5-seater Model X offers space for 88 cubic feet of cargo.
Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.